Ultimate MK Podquest.
Pod Commander Acadicast.
Neal,
Corey.
you keep asking me before we were going to do the show. You were desperate, frothing at the mouth, just dying to know, Corey, what did you think about Wing Commander?
What did you think about Wing Commander Academy Episode 8, Recreation/Recreation?
I'll tell you now. Is that okay?
Tell me now. Let's hear it.
This is handily the best thing we've watched in fucking forever.
Oh, hell yeah.
That cut out for me after two. But yeah, fuck yeah, dude. This is great.
This was good, right?
This was great.
I was surprised how good it was. I was like, what the fuck is this doing with all of these other shows?
It's such a departure from everything else that we've talked about also, by which I mean there are characters with personalities in a tone that is different.
Yeah.
And it's in space.
That's a big one.
Deeply existential, but in a way that's at least kind of interesting and not just stupid, and nobody's screaming at everybody. And the Warrior King became interesting this time. They just decided to make that character interesting.
Yeah,
they just sort of thought they just realized they could do that. I don't know why they weren't doing that before. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get carried away because I mean it is, the Wing Commander Academy cartoon, but this single 20-minute cartoon may well be the best thing we've watched since Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Yeah, dude, I'm prepared. I don't know I'm going to go that far.
I was not expecting to say that today.
I don't know that I'm going to go that far because I definitely still have a soft spot for the 95 movie, Mortal Kombat movie.
To be clear, that's not me saying that those are bad by any stretch, but my expectations were in the dirt, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I was blown
Savage
the fuck
Dragon,
away.
Especially after Savage Dragon.
More like this is Savage dragging on. I heard the whole rim shot that time. I don't know why.
Hell yeah. We're doing it live.
Can you guys tell that we got in a 200-year-old spaceship and we flew to this planet, and what we found was this weird fucked up soundboard that we're trying to learn how to use. Why do you have that?
Because I drop that in all the time in episodes whenever we reveal something dramatic.
I'm a dedicated listener.
Clearly.
So here's my first question to you about Wing Commander.
Sure.
What the fuck is Wing Commander?
Okay. Jesus. A lot to say. Sorry, I gotta find the title of the thing.
While you're looking for that, can I tell you something amazing?
Yeah, you can. Is this in the show?
If it's funny. So I got linked a tweet by a friend of mine. You know the Habsburgs? Like the family? Like the famously imperial colonial disaster family?
Maybe.
Heard of them? From history?
Sure.
From all of history?
From all of history.
Yeah. Everybody is the Habsburgs. So Eduard Habsburg, who's I guess the current one of those.
Yeah.
Is tweeting about the new Evangelion movie.
Jesus Christ. I was not expecting that. Hold on.
There's two screenshots, and the tweet says, "Only place you can still find beautiful classical animation today, ... says the Habsburgs." Again, just to be clear. Okay. The Habsburgs, famous for, like, the Holy Roman Empire. I want to make this unequivocally clear to people who don't know. Like, their most recent dude is tweeting about Ava.
Big classic anime fan. Which actually, let's circle back around, because when I was watching this Wing Commander Academy cartoon episode, I was getting like major Robotech vibes.
My third note is maybe my Gundam affinity is showing, but this is so fucking cool.
Right.
It's not that much like Gundam. It's just also in space.
But the space
nothing
opera,
we watch is in space.
The space opera war aspect of it, and like the pilots and the relation. I don't know. It was just given like,
and how overwrought it all is.
From a storytelling perspective, it was good. This was super good, and I am definitely interested in learning more about Wing Commander, and I have definitely learned quite a bit recently. Largely thank you to the Wing Commander Combat Information Center website and Twitter account. That's at WCCIC and WCnews.com if you want to go right to that website. When we tweeted about, hey, anyone know what Wing Commander is? They popped in with information on the Warrior King crossover on that website. That was pretty rad. That kicked off our research journey because Wing Commander is something that I had heard of. I just never had any experience with. Had you heard of it at all prior to this?
Yes.
Did you hear about it by way of the fact that there's a live-action Wing Commander movie starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard?
Yes, and also I'm pretty sure the video games have FMV in them, and I think Mark Hamill's in one of them.
Hell yeah, the video games have FMV in them. Mark Hamill's in all of them, and Mark Hamill was in this cartoon.
Good for them.
We'll talk about it. So Wing Commander it was a series of PC games, and some of them were ported to like PlayStation, and I think the 3DO got one. And they're these space combat games telling the story of a war between the Terrans, which are like the humanoid race, versus the why can't I pull this?
It's Kilrathi. And I remember that because that is the most over the top fucking name for the bad guys.
Yeah.
It includes the words kill and wrath.
Hell yeah.
That's not very charitable.
The show goes hard. And the Kilrathi, it should be noted, are cat people. They're bipedal
lion men.
Dame Judi Dench in Wing Commander 3.
You ever heard of the band Mumford and Sons? That's what that song was about.
Hold on.
I only heard part of it that time. I hope it turns out to be funny that I'm drawing attention to the weird technical disaster.
Yeah, it's gonna sound clear to everyone. You're just gonna look dumb because you can't hear it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Wing Commander, the first Wing Commander game came out in 1990. And between 1990 and 1997, there were like 10 games released in the series between like main titles and spin-offs, right?
Right.
And starting at Wing Commander 3, they began filming like full motion video cutscenes and casting, actors in them, like your Mark Hamill and I was about to say Freddie Prinze Jr. He's not in the games.
Dame Judi Dench.
A lot of people are going to talk about in the Neal Nook here. Tom Wilson is in all of them. He was also in the cartoon. The series was created by a guy named Chris Roberts. And Chris Roberts, the creator of Wing Commander, the video games, is also the director of Wing Commander, the movie.
Okay.
That's kind of rad. And he's like a Hollywood producer guy now. But yeah, these games were like a big fucking deal. And like, because I wasn't super into like PC gaming as a kid, but I definitely had a stretch in the 90s between console releases where like Sega Saturn had failed in the US and Dreamcast was going to be coming out, but not for a while.
And we all knew that wasn't going to fail.
Define failure, because I have a Sega Dreamcast fishing controller and I've been catching bass fish all day. Thank you. So I had a brief moment in the late 90s where I was interested in PC gaming, and Wing Commander was like a big deal then. I think honestly this was when Wing Commander Prophecy was coming out. That was the 5th one. That's the one I remember like gracing the covers of Computer Gaming World magazine, and the demos were out and all of that kind of stuff. But it was always just kind of in my periphery, right? I had heard of it and I knew people liked it. And I knew there was a movie, and then I might have known there was a cartoon. I'm not sure if I was aware at that point. And that was it, man. But now, I don't want to say I'm like a Wing Commander expert.
I wouldn't say that, yeah.
But I would say I'm well on my way. Did I, about 2 hours ago,
making my way downtown,
text you a photo of me installing Wing Commander Prophecy from GOG.com? Yes, I did.
You did, and that was fascinating because it was a UI that I had never seen in my life before, so I had no idea where you had bought it or what was happening.
GOG.com, good old games. You can get Mortal Kombat 4 over there, too.
Now, everyone's pause the podcast and go buy everyone's favorite Mortal Kombat, the 4th one.
They have 1 through 3 in a bundle and then 4 separately.
Yeah, just get 4.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite one.
The one with Jarek and Kai in it, and Reiko. So that's cool.
I gotta say, I think Wing Commander does have a leg up on naming conventions, seeing as there's a dude who's one of the good guys, ostensibly named Maniac.
Yeah, well, that's his call sign. It's like Goose and Maverick in Top Gun.
I'm choosing to believe his parents named him Maniac, though, and they were just like, that's a good call sign. We may just keep that one.
I have his first name here on my notes, so I'm going to ruin that for you in a few minutes. So this cartoon, this Wing Commander Academy television series that aired as part of the USA Action Extreme team block and crossover with all of our other shows, ran for 13 episodes, and it's considered a prequel to the very first Wing Commander released in 1990. So it's in continuity with the game universe. At least, obviously things have retconned and changed, and they're not going to stick to the plot of the cartoon when they're making Wing Commander 4 something, something, something. I forget the subtitle. But I think that's kind of cool because the Street Fighter animated
Wing
series,
Commander 4 is called The Price of Freedom, which is hilarious.
There it is. I think it's kind of interesting because the Street Fighter cartoon looks like the games, but based roles and character traits and stuff off of the live action movie. And then, of course, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm was made as a sequel to the 95 movie. We all know it's actually a sequel to the 97 movie to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I've proven that here many times over, and I will continue to do so. And they drew inspiration from the game, so it was like a blending of two universes. But then we got this Wing Commander Academy cartoon that is just game universe, right? Just strict canon. Seems like the outlier in the Wing Commander universe of things that don't count is just that live action movie from 1999 that I think we should watch as a bonus episode at some point.
I feel like it happens often that there's one movie made out of an otherwise giant franchise, and it's always the movie that gets left out.
Sure. Just look at Doom and Doom Annihilation. That got two things left out.
And one of them has The Rock in it, at least. I don't know if he's in both. I don't know if they had that kind of pull.
Nobody's in Doom Annihilation. No, nobody you've ever heard of or will ever hear of again. Everyone was killed. Everyone
who made Doom Annihilation from the year of our Lord 2019. What the fuck, dude?
I have not watched it yet.
That's a miracle.
But I'm curious. I'm just waiting for the right time.
I'm looking to see if I know anybody in this cast real quick. I wanted to see if I could make a joke here. I can't.
Nope.
Cannot. It's not happening.
I'm so glad we both liked this show. It's been so long, dude.
Yeah, I'll freely admit I was pretty caught off guard.
Yeah.
By it just sorry. I don't know why I'm all I don't know why I opened that up to be kept in the podcast. That's my mistake. But
please draw more attention to it.
Yeah, it's cool, right? This is what a good show is. This show, it's not just that you look at it and it clearly looks like it had more of a budget, or at least that they knew what to do with it. But
right.
It's got ideas.
Yeah.
And it's executing on those ideas. I'm not going to say they're new ideas. They're not. But it's cool.
Yeah.
The Warrior King has blood red eyes at one point.
That was
pretty fucking sick.
That was tight.
They somehow give that character more setup than we've seen the entire time.
Yeah.
Including the actual introduction to that character, and give it a really fucking bleak ending for
Holy
that.
Shit.
And balances it with a lot of just enough action, a little bit of world building that throws to other episodes that I'd be curious to see. I feel like I might sneeze, but I'm going to try to just power through, and I really hope I don't.
You can do it. Hold on. I've got a bleep button if you do.
It cut out, so it sounded like you have a Morse code button. Stop. This is so stupid. But, yeah, I was just, the characters are archetypes, but it makes it easy to get up to speed.
Yeah.
Scottish lady with a laser gun. Weird alien planet. Really, cool, effects work. That's not just, we're using a bunch of lightning because we only have a lightning sound effect.
Right.
The stuff with the orb or the sphere, if you're a fucking idiot.
God damn it. The future sucks. They call them spheres.
The future sucks, dude. I don't know. There was a lot to be caught off guard by. I don't know. It was just from the moment it started, I was like, oh, this theme song goes kind of fucking hard though.
Right.
I was in. That's all it took I was like, this song goes hard and we're in space and, I love my space opera bullshit.
Yeah.
And this is that. This
Aesthetically, it looked cool. It was like the 90s version of Future, you know?
Yeah, so I think it's worth making the point of, let's compare this to Defenders of the Realm, Savage Dragon, and Street Fighter just quick, because there's a point worth making, which is that, so those shows are all structured around something that we've described before, which is we wanted to sell toys, and we want those toys to have accessories, so they're just like a gang of cops, and they're all structured in the exact same way. You have like computer office man and catchphrase characters, and they do some shitty fighting, but nothing like happens.
Right.
There aren't things to gravitate toward. It's just, we had a bad guy this time, and you know, they're gonna fight him, and then you can buy that later with a dragon jet. Or Savage Dragon is just like, what if cops? And Street Fighter's like, what if international cops? And that's like it. This feels as if it is part of an actual ongoing story where it goes somewhere from here. This could inform that, and it's informed by the previous episodes that we didn't see, and it exists within structures of narrative that we already understand, by which I mean like Top Gun and space opera.
Totally.
And that's such a better foundation to do something with, and never mind the fact that it decides to get existential about it, which I kind of commend it for.
I think there's even more than that. It's, you know, as I was kind of saying, like the Street Fighter cartoon, when they made that live action Street Fighter movie, they just had to make up story for everything, and that was sort of the first time people, Western audiences for sure, got exposed to like any kind of narrative behind Street Fighter 2. And then they only had that to work with to make a cartoon series, right? This made up story that they had done, these roles that they had fit all these characters in. And then, you know, the Mortal Kombat 95 movie was the first thing that gave people insight, like direct insight into the storyline and the events that happened in the first game. So then that was basically all they had to play off of for Defenders of the Realm, was like that and introducing new characters that had shown up in Mortal Kombat 3 or whatever at that time, right? By the time this show came out for Wing Commander in 1996, there had been at least 6 games in the series released, all of them with like story-driven narratives and characters and events and all of that kind of stuff. So they just had like a really well-built, well-formed like franchise to pull these ideas from to set up their prequel cartoon series. You know, they just had like a deeper well of stuff to reach into, I think. And I think that the show benefited from that a lot. Of course, Savage Dragon was taking basically a comic book series that was made to appeal to teenagers and older teens, and then having to nerf those storylines down to appeal to like a young audience. So then it was just boring cop shit, right? But like Wing Commander got to like just tell another story in this world that they had spent like 6 years building already. And I think that benefited.
It's leaps and bounds stronger for it than anything else we've even remotely had to deal with.
Yeah.
Like this feels closer to, we sat down and watched like episode 9 of Conquest just on a whim, by which I mean it feels like part of an actual cohesive whole.
A world's been established, relationships are there, characters have relationships with each other beyond just talking shit to each other and being mean like Defenders of the Realm. Yeah,
whereas everything else is just kind of, it fucking sucks. Everything else sucks.
Yeah, this was good. This was really good. I watched the first episode of the series after I watched this one just to like try to get a little bit more understanding of the world. It starts out pretty fucking good too, I'll be honest. And like that really hammered home the feel I got of watching like your Robotech or whatever, or your Gundam Wing or something like that. I'm going to watch the rest of this show, dude.
That's the least surprising thing you've maybe ever said to me.
I am not particularly interested in watching any more Savage Dragon. I've seen the Street Fighter cartoon enough over the years, but I think I'm gonna like check out, like I almost rented on digital the Wing Commander live action movie.
I gotta be honest, I think my expectations were lowest for this too.
Sure.
Which is maybe slightly unfair to it, but I was like, I don't know what the fuck a Wing Commander is, and everything else had been so just profoundly disappointing, except for the Defenders of the Realm episode was probably the best one, but like again, That's because we've been beat over the head for 2 months with terrible cartoons.
Right.
So this was a breath of fresh air in that it felt like something that I could potentially just be watching on my own time instead of something that people force us to do for their entertainment.
Something people force us to do by not giving us $1,000.
That's our problem. We should have said, don't give us $1,000 and we'll keep doing it, and a good Samaritan would pay us and we wouldn't have to watch Defenders of the Realm anymore.
Sure. I got a new deal.
Yeah.
$500.
And we will watch Wing Commander.
We'll watch Wing Commander Academy all the way through twice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's way fucking better. Do we want to Corey Corner it quick? Should we talk about the actual episode? Where are we at?
Yeah. Do you want to ask me to get over there?
Get over here.
Welcome to the Corey Corner.
That engine sound is so loud. It also cut out mid air horns.
Those air
Holy
horns
shit.
get us, man.
Pew, 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 pew. Fuck. Okay, so this is a story all about how a planet got flipped, turned upside down.
Okay.
Something about the Fresh Prince of Space. Thank you. I'll be here all day.
Do you want to start that Corey Corner over, or just leave that in?
I think we can leave it in. Can you tell
All
that
right.
I just had the thought cross my mind? I didn't think or plan or write anything down, and I just sort of said it out loud.
I very much could.
Yeah, great. Well, so there are some ships in space, and they have a piss laser that is towing another ship that looks very
Fuck, that was
old.
bad time for me to take a sip of water. God damn it. God,
My-
that started to come out my nose.
Sorry,
Jesus Christ.
my note says classic laser piss tow. And so so there's a piss laser, right? It's
Sure,
not the most
yeah.
important part of the episode, but I want to make people know. And there's some Terran ships just sort of watching it go by. They say that they get spotted, like that's a surprise, but they weren't hiding.
Right, it's space.
They were just all in space.
Space. I mean, there's a lot of directions
Yeah.
things can be.
But so then there's a bit of a dogfight, which is ironic because the bad guys are cats.
Hey, yo.
Could have called it a cat fight. There we go. Heard the whole rim shot that time. Gunshot too. We're adapting.
It's learning.
And so ironically their ship is called the Claw, I think.
The Tiger Claw.
The Tiger Claw, which is funny considering the bad guys are big cat people. I love
Well, I
a little
think
bit of
it's-
irony.
I think it's like, this is our Tiger Claw, as in it's the claw we use on the tiger.
Oh,
Right.
That's an interesting way of interpreting that. I hadn't considered it. So they get this ship, right? This old shitty boat, space boat. And they're like, hey, we're going to put it in our piss laser and we're going to bring it to the Claw. And my initial guess, as I was watching the episode, my note said, making the orb a space artifact is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened yet, but that's what I thought was happening right now.
Sure. Last we saw it, it got pitched into space by Raiden, and we're going to talk about that soon.
And so they get their that ship on board their ship, and they're like, okay, somebody go check what's up with that. And they straight up frame it like fucking when they approach the, what the fuck is it called? In 2001, like the obelisk, what is it called?
Yeah.
Is
the
that
obelisk.
it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Where it's like you got dudes in spacesuits like approaching this old ship, and who the fuck is in there but our good friend the Warrior King?
It reminded me of Aliens when
It's
they
like
find...
that too, but I hadn't
Yeah.
seen it recently enough to comfortably reference it.
But you watch 2001 like every week, right?
Yeah, I do it to fall asleep at night. I watch it in its entirety
It's good for that.
every day. Yeah, so they're like, hey, there's a guy in here and he's in a really old ship and it's weird. We don't know what's going on.
Can I cut in real quick?
Yeah.
I was like 7, and my dad rented 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Did you like it when you were 7?
No, I was 7.
So you didn't like it? You didn't think it was cool that like they were walking around upside down and shit?
I was tuned out way before that, dude. I was like, why are we watching these apes hit shit with bones?
So the graphic match didn't do anything for you.
It felt like it took hours.
It did.
Don't show 2001 to your 7-year-old, or else they will not watch it as an adult.
So they say that they're going to go to...
Nothing? Okay.
I just didn't have a lot more 2001 banter left in me.
How old were you when you saw 2001?
I was like 15.
Yeah,
and I watched it of my own volition.
That's the right age to watch 2001. 7 is not.
I guess that was lost on me because there is a friend of ours, Liam, who constantly tells me stories about him showing like horror movies to his nephew who's pretty young. So I'm totally desensitized to the idea of people seeing movies at the incorrect age.
Yeah, but like if you're 7 and you're watching Nightmare on Elm Street, that's gonna like keep your attention.
Yeah, you just don't understand art, I guess, when you were 7. You just didn't get it.
You don't, especially not when your favorite movie when you're 7
was Savage Dragon.
Top Gun and Days of Thunder. You don't go from Top Gun.
Oh, you
Days
were just
of
the
Thunder.
Tom Cruise guy.
Yes. This is getting cut out, but I'm going to tell you this personally. You know what? Fuck it. This is staying in, dude.
Can you keep in the part where you said it was getting cut out?
When I was a kid, my heroes, my role models, the people I wanted to be like, the people I was interested in, the celebrities that I was like, these are the coolest motherfuckers on the planet, were Tom Cruise and Michael Jackson.
Honestly, okay, quick, what year? Give me a year, couple years roughly where this would have been happening.
Top Gun is the earliest movie I remember watching as a kid.
I just want to say, given the time period, that's a completely reasonable role models to have, given your awareness of those dudes versus being a child. I completely understand.
Michael Jackson's Thriller, the cassette tape, got played regularly. The Free Willy soundtrack was purchased for that one Michael Jackson song.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them, turns out, just human monsters.
You know, they say never meet your heroes, which is why we had to cancel an interview with Tom Cruise that we had set up for the podcast. We just couldn't do it. I will say that means you were tastefully set up to enjoy this show if you like Top Gun.
Sure,
big Top
totally.
Gun energy happening here.
Let's get back into the Corey Corner.
Let's do it. So,
should I play the sound again?
Welcome to the Corey Corner.
We're back. So they've got a stasis frozen warrior king in a ship, and they're like, do we want to let him out? And they're like, nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then they all get a rundown where it's like, we're going to go to this beautiful planet called Oasis where there's no war allowed. And maybe there's an orb there because it's near the sun. And the warrior king
so close to the sun.
The warrior king starts tweaking. His eyes pop open. They're blood red, like he's out to murder the world. And
they are.
He just like fucking bursts out of his ship, makes the door explode. He doesn't give a fuck. He's got his stupid staff. The staff is cooler than it's ever been.
The staff rules.
The staff is
He's
actually
fucking
interesting
people
now.
up with the staff.
He's just shooting cool big lasers with actual effects because there's a budget. Sounds cooler, looks cooler. And he's basically like, give me a ship. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Nobody try to stop me. And then they do, and they get hurt. And then, man, this guy really is a maniac. There's this crazy stuff happening, and all he cares about is nobody flying his fighter but him. Wah wah wee woah. But the Warrior King just got really interesting all of a sudden. Because
suddenly.
Just the setup here is raided through that pitch into space.
Yeah.
And the Warrior King has been trying to find the orb for hundreds and hundreds of years.
I did the math. We'll talk about it soon.
Of course you did the fucking math.
Yes, of course I did the fucking math.
Of course
Corey.
you did the math.
Why are you saying that like it's a shitty thing?
It's not shitty. I thought it sounded funny. I'm like, of course you took the time to do the math.
Yeah, I did the math. We got a big theory boys coming.
So they go to Oasis and they're told, hey, no fighting with the cat people.
Kilrathi.
And yeah, but cat people's funnier because it's like that movie I like. And they're like, okay, we won't. And there's cool aliens down there who love peace and make a guy blush from the mere thought of human contact.
Right?
And
what I wouldn't give for some human contact.
yeah, for real. This planet has the orb, and the only reason it can exist how it does and is not just a desolate rock like Mercury or something is because of the orb. It's just been here forever. It's like part of their lore. It's a whole thing. And
It's part of their creation myth.
yeah. And
Sorry, their recreation myth.
and at this point,
Ayo.
I genuinely wish I had more plot info because I'm like, this is just actually kind of an interesting idea. And the long and short of the rest of this story, just so we can get to the nitty gritty here, is the Kilrathi end up showing up on that planet. They're told that they can't fight, but they end up kind of goading each other along, and they both realize that an orb is there, and they want it. They both want it. They want to make sure the other people don't get it, but the Warrior King wants it more. Grabs it, does a bunch of absolutely fucking crazy shit with it, and is essentially talked into keeping it here because, like, the existential cost of annihilating a planet in an attempt to resurrect his own where the lives already can't be saved is such a lost cause that he is kind of talked out of it, and he just gets in a ship and flees at the end. And this episode is interspersed with people sort of having a reckoning with their lives being defined by violence, essentially. And I don't want to make Wing Commander sound more hoity-toity than it is, but it's what the episode is about. Our protagonist guy in conversations with the Warrior King is set up as having like a warrior's lineage, essentially. Maniac and girl, whose name I don't remember ever being said.
Archer.
They talk about whether, that's a life that has meaning, because she hesitates at the beginning, even though her like teammate was in danger, because, it's just raw violence and they're sort of gripping with that. Maniac doesn't really get it in the same way. Some heady themes for Wing Commander, but the only negative thing I'm going to say about this episode right now is that the Kilrathi call it the sphere.
Yeah.
And it's not a fucking sphere.
Boo, Kilrathi. That's why we're at war with them, because they call it a sphere and not an orb.
That's true. That's absolutely why.
Is that it for the Corey Corner?
I think so. It's the point.
You want to get over here to the Neal Nook? Are you really thinking about it that hard, dude?
What?
I said, do you want to get over here to the Neal Nook?
Yeah. No, that was me like saying, but I drew it out a long time.
Gotcha.
I'm going to have to do that
Welcome
again.
to the Neal Nook.
It's Gucci.
We're good.
Let's just dive into the details here. So this episode...
Let's just jump right into it. It's been a while since we did that one, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it has. God, whatever.
Yeah. It's...
Ah.
God, you telling me
I just hit a random button.
It was the dun-dun-dun. For everyone listening who wanted described audio. I forgot the joke I was going to say instead, so just do your bit. No, I just remembered. To give you a sec. I was going to say, can you believe that we're people that do this on a weekly basis? Because if you were just tuning in for the first time, maybe you wouldn't think that.
We've been knocked off our feet. Like, we've been losing our minds over Defenders of the Realm for like 8 episodes before we hit this crossover. And then we just had like whiplash as we shifted from universe to universe tracking this dude. So we don't know how to talk about things that are good anymore. I just think we're off balance a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we're so off balance that there's a real chance that this isn't actually very good at all. It's just better.
No, I want to be unequivocally clear about one thing.
Yeah.
This is leaps and bounds better than everything we've watched up to this point. And I was pleasantly surprised and enjoyed myself. However, if you ask me to compare it to things I actually like divorced from podcasting, it would probably drop in esteem a not insignificant amount. That's not to talk a bunch of shit on it, but it's just being honest.
It's not your thing, right? It's just not your thing.
Wing Commander?
Sure. Like when I was playing PC games in the 90s, like Wing Commander wasn't my thing. I was more of like an RTS guy.
Right.
So like Wing Commander, as great as it is, it's just not my thing. I'm only going to get so much enjoyment out of playing those games, right? That's why I didn't play them. So this is not your thing, right? Your thing is F1 races from 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, I do want to say
Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, that's true. Those are the only 2 things I like. Like, I like stuff that is similar to this.
Right.
But I like those things more than this, is more what I mean. I don't know if that... I'm just saying that there is a good chance that if this sounds hyperbolic, if you watch Wing Commander and go, that was okay, you may well be right. We just don't know what to do with this information, that it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because I do think this is something that I'd like. I think part of the reason I enjoyed it is because it's more in line with something that I'd be interested in watching, just tonally, conceptually, setting wise. But yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it's quote unquote actually good.
All right, let's jump into some of the details, the nitty-gritty here of the cast and crew. Again, I think I said this earlier, Wing Commander was created by a guy named Chris Roberts. And this episode of Wing Commander Academy was written by Mark Edward Edens and Matt Edens.
Brother boys, probably.
They share a lot of writing credits together. It's not all the same, so I'm just going to focus on a few things. They wrote for the X-Men animated series in the 90s, The Real Ghostbusters, Reboot. Reboot comes up on here a lot.
The show Reboot?
Yes, the show Reboot.
So are they also trapped in Reboot?
Yeah, that's how they met Sean Catherine Derrick
Right.
and conceptualized the Warrior King crossover series. They wrote for a series that probably is right up your alley, Corey, called NASCAR Racers.
There was a cartoon called NASCAR Racers.
There was a NASCAR cartoon series called
Holy
NASCAR Racers.
shit. Clear my schedule, secretary. I have shit I need to go do.
2 seasons, animated television series by Saban Entertainment, the
Oh
Power
my
Rangers
God.
people. 2 rival NASCAR racing teams, Teams FastX and Team RexCorp, competing against each other in a futuristic NASCAR division.
Holy shit, that sounds fucking great.
Right?
What's it called again?
NASCAR Racers. It's just called NASCAR Racers.
What a lame name.
Racing scenes were done in 3D computer animation with the characters drawn in traditional 2D cell animation.
Oh my fucking God. What the fuck am I looking at? Oh my God.
So these boys worked on a NASCAR cartoon series.
Holy shit. It looks like this is a video game as well.
Now, there was probably video game adaptations, probably on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Color, actually.
Game Boy Color. Oh yeah, I guess a little early for Game Boy Advance. It was
PlayStation.
99.
Was this on Dream? Would you buy it if it was for Dreamcast?
I don't think it was on Dreamcast. I would buy it for you if it was, but I haven't bought Gundam yet, so I'm getting there.
You should.
These boys, Mark and Matt. Why did their parents do that to them? These boys, Mark and Matt, also wrote on a completely different Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon called Sonic Underground, which does not feature a chicken robot, but does feature Sonic and his sister Sonia and his brother Manic.
Wait, so this isn't the it's
traveling in a band.
It's neither of the ones we talked about?
This is a third Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. There have technically been 5.
His brother's
Let's
name is
just get-
Manic? We can't get into this
Yeah.
right now.
Let's just list them off. You've got Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog,
The
the one
good
with
one.
the chicken robot.
It's the good one.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the one without the chicken robot. Sonic Underground, the one with the siblings. Sonic X, the anime,
And then
the Japanese produced one. That's
Sonic
not very good.
Boom?
And he got Sonic Boom, which I think was Canadian.
I'll take credit for that, sure.
You can have it.
Sure.
I'm fine with that. So this was Sonic Underground, potentially the worst of all the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons.
So I'm watching NASCAR Racers right now,
Good.
on mute. Really, I needed to see it. I couldn't wait.
Wait.
This is a really jarring mix of 2D and 3D animation, it must be said.
Hell yeah.
CGI produced by Kent Butterworth.
Hell yeah, Kent Butterworth.
Also, the cars have like James Bond gadgets and shit.
Of course, so it's like a Speed Racer knockoff.
It's basically Speed Racer, yeah. This car's flying
What?
into the air, just sprouted wings.
Hell yeah, like San Francisco Rush 2049 on the Sega Dreamcast.
And also, there's a girl in an office that just basically they just dress her like April O'Neil.
Shout out to Midway. All right,
I'm gonna stop watching this now because we're literally in the middle of doing a podcast. But
we really are,
it-
and it's
it-
been almost an hour.
it felt
recording
important
time.
that we get to that.
So let's get into the cast. Right, we've got Michael Dorn back as the Warrior King, and his strongest performance as the Warrior King yet, hands down. We've got Mark Hamill as Christopher Maverick Blair.
Oh, that was working. I didn't notice.
Yeah, Mark Hamill. He played the same character, Christopher Maverick Blair, in the Wing Commander games. He's also, of course, Joker from Batman the Animated Series, and he was in something called Star Wars.
Nobody knows what that is.
Must be like a weird Wing Commander knockoff or something. But anyway, he was in that too. We've got Tom Wilson as Todd Maniac Marshall. You know who Tom Wilson is, right?
Yes.
He was a Biff from Back to the Future.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
a comedian. He's an artist. He's a musician. He was also the gym
Casino
coach, I
magnate,
think.
president.
Sure. I think he was the gym coach in Freaks and Geeks.
I've never seen that. You could tell me anybody was on that show. I don't know.
He also played Todd Maniac Marshall in the Wing Commander games. And Corey, we finally found one. He also did some voices in Stan Lee's Stripperella.
Oh, fuck's sake.
We got
God
there.
damn it.
Remember my prediction at the beginning of Defenders of the Realm that we would find Stripperella overlap?
Yeah.
This is the second time it's happened.
To be fair, this is not Defenders of the Realm, so it's really kind of...
Still counts. Still counts for this season of the podcast.
Fair enough.
We've got Malcolm McDowell as Commodore Jeffrey Tolwyn.
That's why I keep calling them cat people. That's why.
There it is.
Because I knew this was going to happen.
Of course, he was in Clockwork Orange.
Cat people also, just to be clear.
He was in season 4 of Community. And here's one for you and Liam and Mitch. He was in a film called Cyborg 3, The Recycler.
The Recycler?
The Recycler.
Oh my god, it's like... Oh my god, that's like... oh, shit, I want to get this joke to work, but I can't remember the word I need. Oh yeah, that's like saying that Lawnmower Man 3 was called The Landscaper.
Hell yeah. All right.
Is this podcast about anything this week? Or are we just...
Who cares?
No, I'm having fun. I like pointing it out sometimes. This is what people signed up for. They know what this fucking show is. We've been doing it for like nearly a year.
We're getting close, dude. This is episode 49, I think.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sometime like mid-September, I think, is like the actual date.
Something like that. Happy anniversary, buddy.
Yeah, what are you guys gonna get us? This is the orb-versary, where you have to get us orb-shaped gifts.
Somebody's gonna fucking send me like one of those inflatable exercise balls you're supposed to sit on, and they're gonna be like, "Here's your new chair, dick."
And they'd be right, and you would use it for every episode.
I would. I genuinely would if anybody sent me that. All right, we've got Dana Delaney as Gwen Archer Bowman. She voiced Lois Lane in a lot of the DC animated stuff, and she was also in the cast of Desperate Housewives. We've got Laurie Hendler as Lindsay Payback Price.
Yo!
That's the Scottish accented person,
That's
Irish
that's
accented
family
person?
is what that is.
All right,
Go-
because of the price thing.
Yeah,
I get it.
Go
Hey,
look at
hold
my
on.
Twitter handle. I love only hearing parts of these sounds. It elevates it to such a degree.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to increase my editing time as opposed to reducing it like I was
absolutely.
hoping it would.
This is doubled your editing time.
She did some voices in the Saints Row games. She's also popped up just on a lot of television series in general. And last but not least, we've got Jeff Bennett as Draknar Kulrog, who is one of the Kilrathi. I guess he was like the main Kilrathi guy in this one, the one who spoke, right? He, of course, was Johnny Cage and Scorpion in Mortal Kombat The Journey Begins, Sergeant Howard Niceman in the Savage Dragon cartoon, Hogue in Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts, and Peter Puppy in the Earthworm Jim television series.
Did he sign a fucking contract that he had to be on all of these crossovers?
He must have.
Dude's getting around.
That is it for the Neal Nook. Let's dive into this a little bit closer. So the pilots at the beginning of the episode, the Terran... I'm going to call them the Wing Cadets. I'm sure there's like a proper term for whatever this Wing Commander force is, and it probably isn't Wing Commander.
Wing Commandos.
When I watched the first episode, Wing Commander is apparently a rank you can receive.
Yeah. I think that's also a thing in real life, just to be clear.
Someone can just be the Wing Commander.
Well, I mean, hold on. Wing Commander is a senior commissioned rank in the British Royal Air Force, yeah. Including many
British
Commonwealth
Royal Air
campers,
Force.
including Canada. Yeah, I was right. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
all right.
I was right.
I'm going to refer to the general organization as the Wing
The rank is
Commanders.
Wing Commander. It's not General.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
We don't know the lingo. All right. So the Terran Armada is the Wing Commanders. The characters we deal with are the Wing Cadets. And the fighter ships that they fly are just going to be whatever the fuck we call them.
Wings.
Because I looked for like actual names of what these things are. Boy, there's like 1,000 different versions of the fighters and the frigates and the battleships and everything. This is a deep, deep series, and we only got so much time to research this stuff.
It's just like real war.
Totally. So the opening, the pilots, the Wing Cadets that we're following at the beginning when they're rescuing, when they find the Kilrathi towing the Warrior King, That's Maniac, Archer, and Payback, right? And I do want to talk about this opening scene, right? Because they engage this like freighter, this cat people freighter and these cat people fighters to try to steal whatever cargo they're pulling, right? And at some point during the fight, like one of the cat people gets on Maniac's back and like has missile lock on him or whatever. And Archer she's in position to like take the guy out, but she's struggling to take the shot because she's like struggling with the fact that she's about to kill another living thing.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if this is like the first time or if it had like happened before or what the deal is with that. It's not super clear, but
well,
it's
I can tell you.
Oh, there you go.
Based on the first episode, that a different character, Viking, I want to say was her call sign, ended up leaving the academy because she couldn't face having to make those kinds of decisions. So like this is something that's been this idea of this war having like real stakes and actual death and everything has been present in this cartoon series since episode 1.
Why did somebody go to wing commander school if they didn't want to kill people?
I don't know all the lore, dude. There's like novels and everything.
That wasn't an actual lore question. Don't worry, we're fine. But
I think that there's like I think it's true. Like people will go into the military thinking they can handle it and then realize that they can't. Like, I think that happens to people all the time.
Yeah, and also just violence is bad.
Also that.
I mean, I'm generalizing. Some of it's probably okay, but most of it's not.
Sure.
I could probably do without a good 99.9% of it. All I'm saying is nobody DM us asking if I want to fight them, because I don't.
Corey doesn't want to fight.
I don't want to fight.
I might want to.
So Neal will fight you if you offer him a $5,000 chair.
If you pay me enough money, I will fight anybody.
$2,000, you can fight Neal. If you win, we give you the podcast.
Yes, but that offer expires tomorrow. Tomorrow at the time of this recording.
Clock's ticking, folks.
Yeah, so it's already passed by the time you heard this. Sorry, you missed out, losers. We're way off topic here.
Yeah.
But I did think that was a really interesting moment, right? And that's something that's going to come up later in the episode, something that's going to weigh on her. And it kind of ties into the entire theme, like even the Warrior King struggle in this episode, where by the end, he's faced with like sacrificing this planet to save his own, essentially.
Yeah, while acknowledging that he can't bring back anyone that died on the planet that he failed to save because he could not find the orb. And then they're just like, so what you're telling me, Warrior King, is that you're going to completely annihilate a planet full of life on it that founds itself entirely on the concept of peace because you're pissed off that your planet's gone and you can't bring it back. You're just doing this out of like rampant, feverish need.
Yeah, but he's been on the hunt for this orb for hundreds of years in multiple different dimensions.
You counted.
Right?
How many
like
years is it?
I did. You want to get into this now?
Sure.
Big theory, boys. Big theory, boys.
So, oh fuck, I lost it. I'm bad at this. So I did the math, right? Now, we don't know exactly what year Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm takes place in, but it's safe to say that the first movie either takes place in 1991, like the first game did, or 1995, the year that it was released.
It's after
right?
Jesus Christ was already dead. We know that for sure.
Sure.
If we want to use that as a reference point.
Much. So we may be picking up in like 1997, 1998 with Defenders of the Realm, when the orb travels to the dimension and Raiden hurls it just into space. Not into a different dimension, just literally
into Earth space.
Into Earth's space. That happened in like 1997, right? The first episode of Wing Commander Academy is stated to take place in the year 2655.
Holy fuck.
So, while somebody identifies Warrior King's ship in this, his spaceship that he's stuck in, as being over 200 years old, or at least 200 years old, in reality, the Warrior King has been traveling through space, chasing after his orb for over 650 years.
Potentially could have even had different ships. Maybe like it doesn't even have to be that precise in terms of like lining the numbers up. But wow.
650 years, because Raiden just chucked this fucking thing out into space with no regard.
It's so funny that the Warrior King was so hot on the heels of the orb in the Defenders of the Realm episode, because if Raiden had waited, I don't know, 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Could have just not completely broken a man mentally and physically after sending him to space for like 600 years.
Yes.
Raiden's bullshit flippancy that we've complained about across multiple movies and TV shows, where he just kind of doesn't give a shit, sentenced the man to chase a ball through space for 600 years.
So real, actual, visible consequences of Raiden's actions that we can see and track, that we have seen the results of, right? Raiden did this to this poor guy.
In a roundabout way, yes.
Fucking asshole, man. Like 653 years, something like that, of chasing his orb through space. 200 of it spent in cryo sleep. Like, no wonder the dude's cranky, right? So when he busts out of the...
No wonder his eyes are filled with blood.
Yeah, that must be like a side effect of the cryo sleep or something, right? Or is he just like viciously angry?
I was hoping he was going to be evil, but then his eyes become not blood red.
So when he busts out of his pod, when they've got it, when the wing commanders have it back on the Tiger's Claw, when he busts out of that, like, he's fully fucking justified, right? Like, if you had just watched the Wing Commander episode of this, you'd be like, who's this bad motherfucker? You wouldn't have any idea.
Space barbarian.
Looking for this orb, this sphere. Sorry, we use the word sphere here in the future, losers.
No, we don't. Fuck him.
Hashtag orb. He's mad. He pops out and he's fucking mad, right? And he's like, everyone stand the fuck back. I just need a ship. And then, like, someone raises a gun and he just blasts them with his staff. And he's like, I told you guys to stand back. I need a ship. And then Maniac, Tom Wilson's character, is like,
well, you're not using mine, am I right?
lunges at him and gets shot. And he's like, I'm going to... There's a tussle, right? And the person who like goes in to attack him is our main character of Wing Commander, our main protagonist, and that is Maverick.
Where have I heard that before?
I think it's very clear that Top Gun stole the idea from Wing Commander several years early.
Yeah, no, of course.
But
yeah.
Christopher Maverick Blair. Jesus Christ. I have no business talking into a microphone. What the fuck am I doing? And Warrior King's ready to kill Christopher Maverick Blair.
Which is a Maverick decision on his part, ironically.
Yeah. And he's saying all right. He's saying like one life in exchange for an entire planet is like fair, right? That's the mindset of the Warrior King in all of this. But he hesitates because Christopher Maverick Blair looks familiar to him for some reason. And he's like, I feel like I know you, or I've known you in the past. And that gives somebody the opportunity to shoot the fucking Warrior King in the back, because that's what human beings do to each other. So now what? They're like, we cut to the Admiral, or the Commodore.
The Wing Commander.
No, he's not the Wing Commander. He's just a Commodore. He's got like based on the first episode, he's like in a political battle with like the rank, the upper brass and everything, right? Commodore Twally, or whatever his name is the Tallwind. There it is.
Tall man.
Yeah. Yeah, so we cut to Commodore Jeffrey Tallwind, who I'm going to just continue from here on out because I'm never going to get that right. We're just going to refer to him as Commodore Malcolm McDowell from here on out.
That's fine.
Commodore Malcolm McDowell announces to the wing cadets that he's like, look, we're going to transfer this guy to like, we're going to get a doctor in here to analyze this situation. We're going to turn him over to the science crew, and we're going to meet the science crew on this planet called Oasis, which is like super duper close to the sun, but has some kind of like a field around it that absorbs and blocks radiation. So like life is just flourishing on this place. The Oasians, as they're called, have negotiated a treaty with the Kilrathi that it's like a peaceful, it's like a demilitarized, it's like a peaceful zone, right? So when we go to Oasis, you guys are all going to have some shore leave. We may encounter some Kilrathi. Don't fight them.
Right.
So then we cut to Oasis, right? And we've just got this rad-looking purple lizard dude sitting by a bonfire.
The dude who's big into PDA, but like in a cool way.
Sure.
in like a welcoming, not super weird way.
Yeah.
This is getting away from me, but I just want to make clear that he's just being a cool guy.
We got no issues with the Oasians. And he's telling the wing cadets about like the origin of the planet, right? Which is something he's going to do again later to the Kilrathi. So like, is that like the deal? It's like a timeshare pitch, right? You got to like sit through this conversation and then you can stay here.
Yeah, it seems that way because the Kilrathi get the same like welcome to Oasis talk.
But he's talking about how like long ago the sun completely like just fucking burned their planet up. Life was dying and it was unsustainable. But then the Maker came down from the heavens and recreated the planet and made it inhabitable and made it this like peaceful paradise. And so like the Oasians are just like grateful and thankful for having that. So that's why they're so chill and cool with everybody, right?
What if I told you the maker was a ball?
That's the wrong button. Hit the wrong button.
Oh boy, the terrors of live broadcasting.
Oh, bro.
I'll tell you right now, shit like that happens for real, and it's always funny.
So while the gang, while Maverick and the boys and girls are hanging out on this planet, right? We've got like a couple interpersonal conversations happening, right? Like the first thing Maverick does is he goes and talks to Payback, and he's telling her about the legend, and he's talking about the alien. That's how they refer to the Warrior King, as the alien. And he's like, he said he knew me. I don't know what he meant, and I'm thinking about this creation myth of the maker and all that kind of stuff, and this guy's searching for something. I think I should go talk to him, right? So that's one little conversation. And then the other conversation is Maniac hitting on Archer, while Archer is talking to Maniac about how every time she kills a Kilrathi, she feels like she's losing part of her soul.
Yeah, it really just sort of hits the existentialism hard and fast with that kind of intellectual introduction.
Right, but we do get Maniac's super nuanced take on it, which is like,
I just don't think about it.
if I don't have this, if I don't have war, I have nothing. This is all I'm good at. Which is a different kind of sad, right? And
Yeah.
Archer expresses that to him. She's like, I feel really bad for you because you're just existing in this like toxic state of conflict and war all the time. And that's the only value you have from yourself is your ability to kill other people. Like, that's pretty fucked up, dude, and that sucks. You should take a lesson from this planet. And as they're having this conversation, like a bunch of the cat people jets fly in, a bunch of the Kilrathi.
And they're like, I'm gonna come up with a whole new way to skin a cat.
Hey,
is what they say.
yo.
Thank you. Also, whoa, whoa, holy shit. Okay, hello.
That was 6 to 8 discreet
Rim shots. Wow. And anyway, they were already told, hey, do not fuck with the cats. This is cool planet. This is cool world. Starring Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
No killing.
But out in space on the Tiger's Claw, they're starting to mobilize fighters in case shit happens off planet, right? And the Kilrathi pop in, and this is I'm never gonna get the name again. The big cat. We're gonna call him the big cat.
Big. I sound like I'm doing the start of the Crazy Frog song. You know the one with the weird frog, man?
Yeah, I know the one.
Y'all ever heard about this crazy frog thing?
Yeah, the crazy frog. You know the guy from Oasis who's telling everybody about their creation.
Y'all ever heard of PDA Crazy Frog?
That's the crazy frog.
What the fuck?
Big cat is like, hey Terrans, hey you Terran apes, just chill. We're just hanging out and being cool. We're gonna respect the peace treaty, right? I don't believe him. Did you believe him? Did you believe him when he said that?
Fuck no. The dude who loves fighting just said that no, of course not.
No. Do you think that there would ever be? No, and never mind. I'm not going down this.
You gotta
train.
ask. You gotta ask now.
No. Do you think that if this episode had been like enemies meeting each other on this planet, this peace planet, and like if they just like had like a recreational kickball game or something
instead of like with the orb?
No, just like with each other. Maybe with the orb.
But is the orb the ball?
Like, I guess what I'm saying is like this is a peaceful planet, and this is two races at war. For,
and they bring war to this planet. To be clear, a bunch of shit fucking blows up
for 10 games. But like, do you think like an actual peace, like they like, oh, we're gonna go down to Oasis for our annual Kilrathi Terran kickball
beach
game
volleyball.
And just have a good time playing beach volleyball like in Top Gun for a weekend, and then we're gonna go back to our war. You know,
I think that would have been a really interesting thing to watch, a cool episode. I also think what they really hadn't considered is if they wanted to stop having a war, they could just set up some kind of other game. I don't know, do it like a tournament bracket style.
Sure.
They fight, and then if one of them wins 10 times in a row, they win.
Yeah, that would be a much more nuanced way of solving conflict between the races.
I mean,
you know,
I don't know why nobody's ever come up with that.
One-on-one space dog fights. That would have been kind of tight, actually.
You can call it the Mortal Kombat tournament.
Somebody get Chris Roberts on the phone. I got an idea to pitch him.
Somebody get Rated on the phone. I've got an orb to pitch him.
No, he already pitched it, dude. That set all of this in motion.
I'm going to throw it back. He has to do it again. He has to fix it.
There's something interesting about the fact that Raiden Raiden is directly responsible in a roundabout way. So I guess that doesn't mean directly, but Raiden is responsible
Indirectly
in a roundabout
responsible.
way for the existence of the planet Oasis.
Yeah.
This is very clearly in the same exact universe. This is the only one. Street Fighter, different universe. Savage Dragon, different universe. Defenders of the Realm and Wing Commander, same universe. Same fucking universe. Scorpion exists in the Wing Commander universe.
I'm just saying I think that they should send the Wing Commanders to hell. Like the Nether Realm.
To like to punish them or like to handle shit.
Just to fuck around.
Sure. Okay. That's
Get
fair.
them out of their element, which is space. There's no space in the Nether Realm. You're just in hell the whole time.
Holy shit, dude. It is pouring, absolutely pouring outside.
Dude, last night I got rained out in a fucking patio. It absolutely dumped.
Dude, it's been bad. It's been raining like crazy here,
it broke
down here in Florida.
3 days
Every
straight
night.
of 40-degree humidity high temperatures.
That feels low to me because of Fahrenheit.
Okay, let me 40 degrees. No, that's the other way. I did Celsius to Fahrenheit. It was 104 degrees for like 3 days.
Jesus Christ. We had that too. It was like 103 degrees like Thursday. It was the worst.
And then the heat finally broke because it fucking rained an absolute boatload.
The heat doesn't break here, dude. It just rains and it's cool while it rains, and then it just is immediately 100 degrees again.
Yeah, we've had a lot of similar issues. Are we really talking about the fucking weather? I know it's raining where you are. I understand why, but it's funny.
Sure, but I think what I'm getting at is I think the orb might be here right now.
Oh, okay. And why is the orb making it rain, do you think?
I don't know. Someone's just fucking around with it. Ron DeSantis has the orb.
That's the scariest thing anyone's ever said to anybody. That's the scariest thought anyone's ever had.
I think Ron DeSantis has the orb.
Fuck.
This is a plot for further voter suppression.
Get down,
in
Mr.
Florida.
President. Ron DeSantis has the orb.
That's staying in. I hate that fucking guy. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Anyone that's mad at that, you don't live
If
in
somebody
Florida.
has listened to the show for this long and doesn't think that we don't like Ron DeSantis, where the fuck
That guy
have you
sucks.
been? Get down, Mr. President. Ron DeSantis has the orb. So
All right,
stupid.
anyway.
So stupid.
So I don't know what happens here, right? Like this, the rest of the. Oh shit!
I don't know
Hey
what
Corey.
the fuck's going on. Who cares anyway?
Hey Corey, are you there?
Is this a bit or a technical issue? Oh no.
Man, that orb really got me and knocked the power out. Ron DeSantis is not happy about what I just had to say about him. And he is using the elements to ruin my podcast recording.
Ron DeSantis is maybe the worst person I could think of off the top of my head to have that kind of power, and I'm not the
Jesus
least bit
Christ.
surprised that he is using it to target a podcast,
A podcast that doesn't like him.
of which I'm sure there are many, at least 2.
Yeah, I could think of a few, for sure. All right. Anyway,
Fucking Ron DeSantis has the orb. That's so funny. Oh my god. Okay, let's. Where are we? What were we doing? What's happening?
oh, so the Kilrathi they're just pretending they're on Oasis to be like peaceful, and like we get this little scene down on Oasis where Maniac is confronting one of the Kilrathi, and he's like, "Hey, let's just fuck around," and he picks a fight with them, right? And the Kilrathi's like, "Dude, you don't want to fight me. I'm a fucking 7-foot-tall tiger person. Like, fuck you."
And he's like, "But I'm an idiot."
And then he kicks Maniac's ass, and then he's like, "You're here for the sphere. We're also here for the sphere, and we're gonna get it first." And now we know the Kilrathi are there because they're trying to steal this fucking sphere. And then the Kilrathi guy gets shot in the back by Payback, I think. And this is the second time that a Terran
More like shoot back.
This is
Sorry. Oh my! This episode's
Happy?
like Terminal Rimshot. Terminal Rimshot is a good band name. That one's free if people want that.
that is actually Wing Commander 6 was supposed to be titled
Terminal
Terminal Rimshot.
Rimshot. There's also an episode of Silk Stockings called that, but it means something else.
Yeah, that was banned from television. It's also what Melina was trying to do to Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Oh boy. To death? Terminal, literally?
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyway, so Wing Commander.
We've squeezed all the juice we can out of that one. Let's continue. But I just wanted to comment because, like, this is the second time that a wing cadet or a wing commander, soldier or pilot or whatever has shot an enemy in the back.
Which some people don't like. They think it's not good.
There's no honor in it.
Yeah, if you're not gonna shoot me from the front, don't shoot me at all. Yeah. You know?
And the truth is, like, there was probably some kind of standards and practices thing that was like, you can't actually show people shooting other people. So with
what
guns.
Was this subject to the fucking Hays Code? What do you mean?
Well, I don't know, but there's like that rule, like, you know, like Batman the Animated Series, the reason it was set in like a noir setting is because there was a rule that guns in children's cartoons had to be laser guns, and then like Bruce Timm was able to be like, well, my show's set in like the 40s. There were no laser guns back then, and that's how he was able to get to use real guns. And then there was also like a rule that a character couldn't point a gun directly at the screen.
What, because the kids would think they were going to get shot for real?
I potentially, or stupid people thought that kids would think that. I don't fucking know. But he also broke that rule with Mr. Freeze's gun. That was like the first time in an animated children's cartoon you saw a gun pointed directly at the viewer.
That shit basically is the Hays Code.
Okay. What's the Hays Code?
So the Hays Code short lesson is basically a bunch of shit from like peak Hollywood studio era. I don't remember specifically what year. Just said a bunch of shit you couldn't do. And it was basically just really conservative, like showing certain like female body parts and like shit with guns and like smoking and shit.
Right. And then Psycho came along and showed a toilet on screen, and everyone was like, oh, my Lanta.
Yeah, so let me see. Hays Code: overt portrayals and references to sexual behavior could not be shown. Adultery as a subject was to be avoided. Complete nudity was never permitted. Interracial relationships were not allowed.
Jesus Christ.
Yikes. No homosexuality or childbirth. Crime and immorality could never be portrayed positively. Criminals could not be heroes. No drug use. No methods of crime. Methods of committing crime could not be explicitly described.
Somewhere out there, Ron DeSantis is reading this and getting a boner.
Yeah, you couldn't ridicule the church. Like, just a bunch of the dumbest shit in the world.
Jesus Christ. All very positive things for media and film, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it was what a time.
While all of this is going on Oasis, Maverick, Chris Maverick Blair, is talking to the doctor, who's observing Warrior King, who's locked in a room, and the doctor's like, oh, his ship is 200 years old at least, and his staff seems to feed off of his own energy, and I've never seen anything like it. And Maverick's like, hey, can I talk to him? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they like connect him through the intercom, right? And Maverick's like, hey, Warrior King, if that is your real name.
Hey, it's me, Tom Cruise.
He's like, you said you knew me in the past life. And the Warrior King's like, I knew a warrior a long time ago on Earth whose name was also Blair. And that's not somebody that we've met. We didn't meet like a Blair in Street Fighter or a Blair in Savage Dragon, unless maybe
the B in M. Bison stands for Blair.
M. Blair, son? That doesn't even make sense, dude.
I know. I'm here to say stupid shit.
Oh, fuck. Expect this episode to go out late, everybody. In fact, just ahead of time, this episode went out late, everybody, and I'm sorry. But he's like, yeah, no, I knew Warrior King's like, yeah, I knew a different soldier who looked a lot like you in the past on Earth, sometime in the past 650 years, and his name was also Blair. And Maverick is like, yeah, there have been a lot of soldiers in my family, right? And then he asks Warrior King if he has a family. And Warrior King's like, it's just been so long since I've seen them or since I lost them or whatever that I just try not to remember him. And then Maverick asks Warrior King if he's looking for, like, what he's looking for. Are you looking for the Maker? And Warrior King describes the orb's powers. He's like, can the Maker control, like, the elements and wind and storms and all of that kind of shit? Which is consistent with what we saw in Defenders of the Realm and Street Fighter, but not Savage Dragon.
Honestly, I think the orb can do even more shit now than it could do before.
Savage Dragon really dropped the orb on the orb, man.
Yeah, They dropped the orb on a lot of shit.
And anyway, Maverick's like, yeah, that basically sounds like what the Maker's supposed to do. And Warrior King's like, fucking hell yeah, I found it. Then he busts out of his like prison cell. And people shoot at him, and he picks up the doctor and uses the doctor as a human shield. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
That is not the Warrior King we've come to know and love, man. This Warrior King is fucking brutal.
I mean, he's spent 600 years.
He's twisted now, dude.
He's like the Joker.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he like...
I'm running out of steam. It's been a while.
Warrior King's like, that's it, dude. You need to take me to the orb, right? So they fly to the planet. They hop in Maverick's fighter
Which
jet,
conveniently
right?
has 2 seats, just like the Dragon Jets do.
Only 2 seats. There may be a hidden third seat. We don't know, but it's got 2 seats. And they're having a conversation along the way, and Warrior King's telling Maverick about the orb. He's like, it has the power of annihilation and creation and recreation, which is just, again, this episode is, they've said they go to Oasis for recreation, and they have talked about recreation many times. I'm going with this episode is called Recreation.
Yeah.
And he gives Maverick, Warrior King gives Maverick the whole spiel. He's like, long ago, my planet was destroyed. It was about 650 years ago. And if I get the orb, I can restore the planet, but I can't restore all the lives of the people who died there. And Maverick's asking him like, well, what destroyed your planet? Was it war? Was it a conqueror? Was it a tyrant or something? And Warrior King fucking loses it. He's like, no, I was not a tyrant. I was trying to save my planet, but instead I destroyed it. And now I must set things right. So we learned in this episode that whatever that war was at the beginning that Warrior King was escaping from with the orb, he fucking started it, dude. Warrior King set all of these events in motion. That's the word I'm looking for. He made all this shit happen. Fuck you.
I just liked that. That was funny.
He made all this shit happen, dude.
In a roundabout way.
He certainly is carrying the guilt and the weight of it, especially after this long.
I mean, it's definitely his mistake to be like, the wizards are coming. I'm just going to ditch the orb. That thing that kept his planet alive.
So he's been away for so long that the planet has died, and he knows the planet has died. He knows it, dude.
Yeah, and so did everybody on it, and they're like, so what? You getting the orb back does what exactly? And he's like, well, it brings the planet back, and they're like, what about everything else? And he's like, nope.
He's just desperate. He's just desperate to feel like he's like, I got to do this is a Hail Mary. If I do this, maybe my conscience will be cleared for my mistakes and everything. Pretty intense.
I also think he just fucking wants it at this point because, like, it's been 600 years.
Yeah, he's got to get that orb.
The orb looks fucking sick. It's glowing. It can create explosive planet-sized tornadoes.
Yeah, it can. Well, when the Warrior King uses it, it can do that. It could presumably do that all the time, but it was always in somebody else's hand. Now it's in his hand, and he's able to do it.
I also think it's very intentional that on this planet, the orb is in nobody's hands, and it just hovers in a singular spot and is just used neutrally.
We should just highlight this planet is like right next to the fucking sun.
It's as close to the sun as it could get without being the sun.
It is right fucking there. Anyway, so word of Maverick being kidnapped by the Warrior King alien gets to the other cadets, right? And orders from on high are that they don't really have a plan to rescue Maverick because they're keeping all of their fighters on bay because there's this Kilrathi ship up there, circling the planet. And they got to be ready for like a real war if the Kilrathi actually do anything, right? So the cadets are like, fuck it, we're going to go get our boy, So like Archer and Maniac and I think Payback goes too. I think all 3 of them go to like rescue Maverick, right?
Yeah.
But while they're heading to the place of the orb, and the Kilrathi have also dispatched their fighters to go to where the orb is and take the orb, or the sphere, as those dipshits call it. We've got Maverick and Warrior King landing up on this. It's like a mountain. It's like a spire, right? Yeah, it's like a spire, and the orb is just like floating up there. And Warrior King's like, fucking hell yeah, dude, finally I get my orb. And Maverick's like, well, hold on, don't take it, because if you take it, like, look how fucking close that sun is. This planet's fucked if you take that orb. And Warrior King's like, I don't give a fuck. And he pushes Maverick.
Oh yeah, the Warrior King is like, I'm not here to, I'm like, I don't fuck with any of you people. I'm here to get this orb.
I've already lost Chun-Li, the love of my life.
The love of my
I don't
life.
care about anything else anymore.
They were married. It's fine. We have no reason to assume that in the 600 intervening years, he wasn't married to Chun-Li. We have
He didn't,
no
like, get
reason to
back-
think that.
He didn't like get back to Chun-Li somehow, marry her, and then leave her again to go hunt for his orb.
Well, she
Like,
probably
you're right.
died. He's not like maybe he lives a long time. I don't know. We can't rule that
That's a good
out.
point.
That
At
is
the
that
point
is a
you're-
good point. Thank you.
Yeah. At this point in the Warrior King storyline, every single character we've seen is presumably dead, except for maybe someone immortal like
Raiden
Kitana and Raiden.
and Brayden, their friend that just kind of vibes. Stupid.
Fuck,
We're so
dude.
close.
All right.
We can do this.
So now it's just like a big battle, right? And the cat people
Big
have
battle,
the
boys.
cadets.
Big theory boys.
We need to stop doing these after I wake up. I feel like I'm part of the problem here.
Yeah, so the big battle boys are having a big battle. It's the Kilrathi.
The
it's
big
the cadets.
Beetleborg battle, boy.
The cadets are getting their fucking asses kicked 'cause they're just there on a rescue mission, right? There's just like 3 of them, and there's like 100. Hundred's a lot. There's like 10 to 20 Kilrathi cat ships. And they just got the fucking cadets pinned down. They've blown all their ships up. There's still one, presumably, because the Warrior King's going to get away on it in a little bit. But the cadets are like fucked, and the Warrior King's watching all this happen, and he's just like, Jesus Christ, there's never any peace, right? The fighting never fucking ends. And that's when the Kilrathi like lead guy is like over the loudspeaker on his jet, like ready to kill Maverick, and he's like, of course we didn't respect the peace treaty here. There can be no peace. There will only be peace once all of our enemies are destroyed, right? And I think that's what sets the Warrior King off, and he makes this big-ass twister, the likes of which the crew in Twister have never seen.
That's true. They didn't.
Twister's a fucking banger, by the way. The movie's good.
I don't have time. I'm intentionally not engaging, so we don't spend 15 minutes talking about Twister.
Cool, all right. Fuck you.
It's been 2 hours. What do you mean? Fuck me.
It hasn't been 2 hours.
It's dude. We're very close to that.
All right, let's knock it out then. Fuck you. Fuck you again.
No,
We gotta talk
before
about
Ron
Twister and all that
DeSantis
time.
got the orb, it had been like nearly 90 minutes.
We got a lot to say. This is a big episode.
Some of it is about Wing Commander.
Warrior King's got the orb, and he's like, "That's it. I gotta help these people. They're right. I can't let a whole world die or whatever." So he just like makes this giant tornado that takes out like not just all the Kilrathi ships that are in the atmosphere, but also takes out their big carrier in space. Just fucking obliterates like a chunk of their armada, right? And then he chills out, and then Maverick and Archer approach him, and they're like, "You can't take the orb. If you take the orb, this planet will die. You can't take the Maker."
You're doing the same thing to this planet that happened to yours, but you're doing it as a conscious choice directly to fulfill one thing for you because stuff did not go your way. How is that
Yeah.
reasonable?
And the fucking Warrior King, he's like, Jesus, I fought for so long that I forgot what I was fighting for. And he, like Raiden, throws the orb, but instead of throwing
and
it through a
really
portal,
cool snaps back to where it was supposed to be. It looks fucking sick
Right.
as.
hell yeah, back up on top of that spire. And then he turns to the cadets and he's like, take care that you do not forget what you fight for.
Which is a nice addendum to the conversation about why are we doing all this fucking killing. It makes me sad.
Justice, discipline, and commitment, the code of the street fighter.
Oh my god. The code of my wife. So the Warrior King, they should have called him the Wing King by the end of this, I think, because he gets in his ship,
Sure.
flies away.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets in what I believe is a Venture class Corvette that he stole from the Wing Commander Navy.
I think they're letting him have it.
Well, all of their other ships got destroyed, dude. They're stuck there until they can get in communication with somebody.
They'll be fine. It's Peace Planet.
They gotta go find the purple lizard dudes and get smooched again.
Well, it was more of a hug.
Well, get smooched for the first time then.
Ron DeSantis' first smooch was with the orb.
God.
Anyway,
And that's it, dude. Warrior King flies off.
good cartoon. Good way to spend 20 minutes.
Maniac says, "Where do you think he's going?" Maverick says, "The same place we all are. Forward."
Twister.
Hell yeah.
I did like that. I like that it was like it was willing to have the I'm gonna say pretentious ending, pretentious for a baby show anyway, a cartoon to sell toys. I appreciated that.
Yeah,
it's a good episode of a cartoon. It's got good music. It looks hands down the best out of all of them.
The animation is the most consistent in this one versus all the other shows for sure.
Yeah. The effects are more exciting. The voice acting isn't constantly making me want to die, and I think that it feels more cohesive. That's maybe the word that best describes it. It feels better because it feels more cohesive. It feels like it's part of an existing thing and existing conventions that are interesting, whereas the Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Savage Dragon all exist in existing conventions that suck and are boring and are just to sell toys. And this is also weird to sell toys, but it's also at least kind of interesting. I
think this one, even though this is a space barbarian in the middle of a cartoon that is essentially World War II in space, it feels like it fit the show better than like Defenders of the Realm doesn't count because dude wasn't in that. If he had been present in that episode, he would have fit into the Defenders of the Realm universe pretty well, I think, overall. Right. But like he just felt legit out of place, and the storylines felt legit out of place in Street Fighter and Savage Dragon. But it felt like, this fits into this world somehow. There's this planet with this artifact that keeps it alive, and there's people after it, and there's the guardian of the artifact. Like that feels like it feels like it just could be. This could have been a standalone episode. It didn't need, and the truth is, none of these episodes have needed the other parts. But
not even a little bit. They all just happen to have the Warrior King in it to a degree.
Especially didn't need the other parts to be its own. But I'm glad we watched all four. Honestly, I got one more thing I want to say about the Warrior King crossover, and then I want us to do our ranking of the 4 episodes.
Well, I mean,
we'll just hold on to it.
Not gonna be a huge surprise there.
All 4 episodes of this Warrior King crossover aired the morning of November 16th, 1996.
They all played like back to back?
All 4.
Holy shit.
So there was a time slot swap between Defenders of the Realm and Wing Commander. They reversed those according to the Wing Commander Combat Information Center website article. But yeah, all 4 parts aired just in one morning. And there was 0 promotion for this crossover. There was no announcement that the Warrior King was coming, that it was going to travel through all the shows. This was just something that happened.
That's genuinely kind of cool.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I wonder if that meant kids just never recognized that it was a crossover. If you just watched one of them or 2 of them and it just left, you're like, weird, King guy. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Oh, he's back. And then you watch Defenders of the Realm and you're like, oh, I guess he's not here.
Exactly, yeah. And then you don't watch Wing Commander because you had to go to soccer practice and then you just never knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or Boy Scouts. Ugh.
Orb School.
Orb School's not on Saturdays, dude.
It is in the summer if you fucked up and failed Orb School.
Let's rank these. What's your ranking? I want to go worst to best.
Okay. The worst one is Savage Dragon.
Okay.
Then I would put Street Fighter.
Okay.
Then I would put Defenders of the Realm because it's a good episode of that show, not because it's a good part of this crossover, and I want to make that distinction.
Sure.
He's so barely in it that it feels basically unrelated, but compared to what we had seen of that show previously, leaps and bounds better than most of it. And then Wing Commander is obviously and hands down the best one.
Hell yeah.
By a large margin.
That is absolutely my exact same ranking. That is inarguable.
Yeah, definitive.
I might be inclined to swap Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, but I'm not going to because, like you said, that episode of Defenders of the Realm was just surprising for being pretty good.
Yeah, I will say, if we're ranking it based on how it is as part of this only, I could flip Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. But as for an episode of Defenders of the Realm, just considering it that way, way fucking better than most of them. The majority, if not all of them.
Hell yeah.
Definitive.
And that is it, dude. We did it. We talked about the 4-part Warrior King crossover.
More like done. Forb.
Three spin-off podcasts, crossovers with ourselves.
Yeah. We're the only podcast man enough that Toxic Masculinity is doing a crossover podcast event with yourself.
And now, starting next week, we will be back to being a Mortal Kombat podcast, full stop.
There's only a month of that left, thank God. Of Defenders of the Realm, I should say.
Sure, yeah, of Defenders of the Realm specifically. Next week, we will be talking about Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm Season 1, season only, Episode 10, Swords of Ilkan, Ilkan,
Oh my
a made-up
God.
word, which is the one that has the Amazon tribe that I am going to argue to exhaustion
Vorpax time.
is a proto-Vorpax, proto-Kriya people thing. So stay tuned for that, everybody.
That's the content you all crave, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely think that'll be great. That'll be fascinating.
I hope so, man. I haven't watched this episode. I am in uncharted territory for real now with Defenders of the Realm. But for now, Corey, I think we should hop in our Venture class Corvettes and fly off into space to murder some cat people.
I'm never going to forget that time when Raiden, or whoever the fuck said you have to kick your Venture class Corvettes and jam.
Yeah.
Icon. Yeah, let's do that.
Drop your plugs.
I should have recorded a plug that you could just put in a button and then I didn't have to say it anymore. They made another one. It's a podcast that I do with my friends Liam and Mitch. Sequels, reboots, remakes for movies, occasionally a TV show, and sometimes we bend our own rules, but it's fine. You can listen to us on Twitter. Nope, you can't. You can't do that, but you can follow us on Twitter at They Made Another. You can listen to us all over the rest of the internet. They Made Another One. That's what the show is called. Letterboxd is TMAO. My Twitter and Letterboxd is Mr. Corey Price. Just like that Scottish lady.
Hell yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Final Neal. Find me on Instagram at Final Neal Retro. Follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at MK Podquest. Subscribe in your podcast app. Rate us and review us 5 stars. If you want to give us money for some reason, ko-fi.com/MK Podquest.
If it encourages you at all, you wouldn't be the first, so no pressure.
Yeah. Other people have done it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You're not breaking
We
new
welcome
ground.
it. We enjoy it. I need a new chair still. Again, special thanks to the Wing Commander Combat Information Center at WCCIC on Twitter. And I'm going to give a shout out to somebody else. Hold on.
The Warrior King. Thank you, Warrior King, for being on all these cartoons, making us watch them. I hope you're still,
Yeah.
cruising and bruising.
Shout out to Matt Kind on Twitter, who also gave us some Wing Commander info. And I think that's it. Let's kick our Venture class Corvettes and jam, like you said earlier. I'm not stealing your joke. I'm just repeating.
I don't even think I said it right. I don't think I said Venture. I think I may have said Viper.
Well, whatever. It's all the same.
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's all fucking nonsense, man. I'm genuinely gonna go play. I'm gonna play some more Wing Commander after this.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna see if I can get into Wing Commander. I'm gonna be like a Wing Commander guy. I'll probably just watch the movie.